This is the CitizenLink report.
If you find our insights helpful, would you support our video efforts? $500 buys an hour of studio time. And we usually don't use a whole hour, but it covers the crew, lights, cameras, all that. That means your gift of $25 or more goes a long ways. Just click on donate. Thanks from all of us.
The time between an election and when a new Congress gets sworn in is often when unpopular ideas get voted on. This is the CitizenLink report. Hi, I'm Stuart Shepard, along with Chad Hills, who follows the gambling issue for us here. Hi, Chad.
Hi, Stuart.
Tell us about this internet gambling bill that's being talked about on Capitol Hill.
Well, it's actually a draft right now that's being floated around Capitol Hill, a 73-page draft, actually, and it would basically legalize internet poker on the internet. So this is what we consider to be a very dangerous bill, and it's no less dangerous than if full-blown casinos were legalized on the internet.
Now, just to be clear, so it's only one kind of gambling that they're going to talk about legalizing to begin with, anyway.
That's correct, supposedly to protect the citizens.
Yeah. Now, the name of this bill is?
I've got to read this one because it's quite interesting. The Gambling Prohibition Poker Consumer Protection Act.
And that's the way it's being talked about on the Hill. We know it's not been introduced yet, but that gives the impression that it does one thing when in fact it really would lead to something completely different.
We're talking about bringing internet gambling casinos into every home, school, library, and business in the nation that would legalize this form of gambling. It's the most invasive and devastating form of gambling we've ever seen.
Now, from your point of view, if they open it up to poker, then the rest of the gambling spectrum is right in behind that pretty easily.
Oh, absolutely. This is being disguised as a protection, a protective bill, if you will, that would limit gambling. But in fact, a few years down the road, this is just a precursor bill. A few years down the road, they're going to open this up to full-blown casino gambling.
Now, whenever we talk about this topic on here, I always get email and feedback, especially from poker players who say, you guys don't have any idea what you're talking about. Poker is a game of skill. It's not gambling at all. And they go on with this very long, and it's usually a lengthy argument about that. Tell me, why would this be bad for families? What's the problem?
Well, you've got to realize that there is no cybersecurity program right now that can effectively prevent underage gamblers from getting on there, from money laundering occurring. There's a lot of organized criminal activity that could potentially occur on this, and we've had various people prove this fact to be true.
And gambling is an addictive behavior for many people. Not all, but many people. There are folks watching right now, I'm quite confident, who know someone, have someone in their lives who is struggling with gambling as a compulsive behavior. What's your advice for them?
Well, particularly with internet gambling, we have about 2 in every 5 internet gamblers who have a problem addiction with gambling. And for people who have a friend or a family member who themselves are addicted to gambling, the first thing you've got to do is take this seriously. Don't put it off. You can lose the entire house, your entire bank account, everything you own in a matter of hours on the internet, in a matter of days in a casino. And so take it seriously, first of all. And then understanding the desperation of gamblers is another really important thing for family members. If your son or daughter or your husband or wife is addicted to gambling, or grandpa or grandma, they will stop at nothing to get what they need to feed their addiction, and that includes stealing from family. So be aware of that and take it very seriously. And last of all, contact a professional counselor. That's probably the most important thing. Get in touch with the Gamblers Anonymous group, but contact a professional counselor. And there's also a group called gamblingexposed.org that can be a good place to start for addicted gamblers as well.
Now, one of the primary sources for gambling in the country, we might as well say it, is state government. We just heard about the whole Powerball lottery that was just won recently, and it's always presented by state government as fun and engaging, and this is something you need to do. You can't win if you don't play, those sort of things. What's your advice to folks across the country as they try to assess where does gambling fit in as a pro-family issue?
Gambling and the state or the government should not have anything to do with each other. Gambling does not have the well-being of families or citizens in mind. Gambling like this bill is being pushed by the gambling lobby to benefit the gambling lobby. It's not to benefit families or people. And government should not have its hand in gambling. And this particular bill, if it were to pass, would be the first time in federal legislation in U.S. history that the federal government became involved with gambling. States with lotteries have become involved with gambling, but this would be the very first time the federal government would have its hand in that pot.
All right. Chad, thank you for keeping track of this for us. We appreciate your insights.
Thank you.
All right, and thank you for watching. We do appreciate hearing from you. Even if you disagree with what we have to say about these things, you may always write to us at mail@citizenlink.com. Do pray for members of Congress during this lame duck session. Pray that they have wisdom and insight and are concerned about what's best for America's families as they vote on various pieces of legislation here in these closing weeks of the session. And remember, stand tall and be heard.